Hello everybody, welcome back to Language Litigation and Integration Part 57, Casual Conversations 18. Again, still working through my stories that keep hitting me. There's some funny ones. So today, mostly funny ones, lighthearted ones. But I hope everyone's having a good Thanksgiving, getting prepped for Thanksgiving. I'm writing a single called Turkey Time. It's already coming out pretty good. So that's going to drop either today or tomorrow. I'll finish writing that after I'm done with this episode. But last episode kind of ended up with stories about skiing, so I thought of another funny one from skiing. So, again, my old buddy Jack that I've referenced several times, my family and his family would go skiing pretty regularly, like on Martin Luther King weekends, like sometime in February. Pretty much most of the years, up until like probably late grade school, probably late grade school, maybe even early high school, just can't remember. But we'd always go to Holiday Valley. And for anyone that's pretty popular ski resort in Ellicottville, New York, I'm sure many people out there in the United States know of it. And even some international people. When you go skiing, you meet a lot of people from the international places. But very nice ski resort, very popular. Never been there in the summer. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think visiting a ski resort in the summer would be pretty cool. But and this is, like I said, early grade school. The time frames we're going to jump around a little bit. But this is the story of the unsecured comms channels in the dumpster behind Burger King. And so we had walkie-talkies. We'd go to the ski resort and we would always, have to stay in touch. And if you ski at any level at any time, it's easy to get lost or away from your group or this or that. So we'd always have walkie-talkies. And this was at a time when, again, I haven't used a walkie-talkie in 10, 15 years. But you could literally just go on your walkie-talkie, click the scan button, and anybody broadcasting a signal at the ski resort, you could just start talking to. And it was like there's a lot of people doing it. Everyone had walkie-talkies. You could hit scan and start talking to a random group of people in like 5 seconds. And so you just had to tune to a certain frequency and you could just start talking to people. I'd imagine you might have a little more security on those nowadays. I even feel like towards the later years there was less people using the walkie-talkies. So this is like when you're I don't know, young kids, it's certainly less than 12 years old, probably 10 to 12. But we'd always just mess around with people on these walkie-talkies. And one of the most notable ones, we did this a lot, but one of the most notable ones is probably a group of people, I don't know for sure, but probably, late high school, early college type of kids. We got on a channel with a group, one of them. We just start talking, and for whatever reason, we're able to convince them that we're with the group, we're one of the nephews, we're part of the group. And so it's later in the day, we're literally either at the hot tub or literally in our room, and we're sitting there messing around on the walkie-talkies, get on with these people, and we literally convince them that we're part of their group and we're at Burger King. And so they literally go to Burger King, and the Burger King was right next. It was a little ski town. It was one of the restaurants, half a mile away. And so they go to Burger King and they message us back hey guys, we're here, and we don't see you. And we're like, no, we're there. Just go check behind the dumpster. We're behind the dumpster. And I think at that point they kind of realized they had been playing a little bit, but I thought that was a funny one. We got a bunch of people to go look for the group that we weren't a part of behind a dumpster at Burger King. But I'm sure a lot of people have some good, interesting stories with unsecured comms channels, just like those walkie-talkies. They were very popular stuff. Another funny one, trolling 8th grade parents at basketball games. And this is when we're in high school, mid-high school. This was with my buddy Garrett most of the time. But again, I've referenced this. We would do this, the scoreboards, just keep track of grade school basketball and get paid a little bit of money. And, I thought of this one because of the King Richard, just overexcited sports parents. But every single time without fail, we had this is St. Paul in Columbus. But every single time without fail, the scoreboard, I would do the scoreboard, Garrett would typically do the book. But the scoreboard's the most, public thing. Everyone's looking at it for the time, for the score, whatever. And we had a timeout clock. And you would just, again, full timeout, 60 seconds, half a timeout, 30 seconds, I think. But every single time we would get it'd be like the end of the first period or the end of the half. It'd be like the end of the like the last minute to a minute and 10 part of the games. And whenever a coach would call a timeout, we would I would put the timeout clock on, and it would look like I forgot to stop the clock and it's still running. And me and Garrett would both pull out our phones and look obnoxious, and they would always start like, "The clock is running! The clock is running! The clock is running!" And I'm knowing damn well that it's the timeout clock running, just to ruffle their feathers. And one notable time, and again we did this frequently, and one notable time, they're yelling at me, and this is like loudly. I was like, "Oh, close game, end of the tournament, gotta win! Oh, the clock's running! The clock's running!" And I'm literally going like this on my because they're all screaming at me like I don't know what to do, like I'm flustered. I'm literally going like this. "Oh no, the clock's running! The clock's fucking running!" The parents are still yelling. Garrett's fucking losing it. I'm like, "The clock's running! The clock's running!" And then it buzzes, and everyone's freaking out, and then they see the normal time up there on the fucking scoreboard. So I thought those were two funny stories. I got a couple more. So now I'm going to tell you about the legend of Jace, the man with a brick and a box of condoms. So this is freshman year, high school. We have a gym class. When I was just thinking about it more, when the Oreo pie that slapped, that would have been advanced gym class. That's why I've been seniors only. But gym class you had with different age groups of people, at least in my high school. Just random fact. But so we go into gym class, and like I said, freshman year, so we're all meeting new people. Like we don't know everybody in the high school yet. Just everyone's getting to know everybody. And unprovoked, one day we're sitting in there, and then my old friend Evan, Tyler, and Brendan would have been in the class. And rather unprovoked, this we're just high schoolers trying to impress other high schoolers. This guy named Jace comes up. He's in our class, and pretty much without provocation, he just like starts telling us like he has a brick or something. And we might have been referencing weed. And at this time, I didn't smoke. Probably maybe Brendan did, maybe. But for whatever reason, very, very confident we were talking about cannabis, just to some extent. And Jace comes over and he says he's got a brick of cannabis. He's just like immediately like, "What? Like you don't have any bricks of cannabis?" I'm sure you can vacuum seal now. Later in life, with a little bit of vacuum sealing experience, you could probably get away with calling a cannabis a brick. But typically, like cocaine, crack is more of the solidified isolates are more reference of bricks. But he comes up and he's like literally trying to convince us he's got a brick. And maybe it might not even been cocaine, but we're just like, the point of the story is just like, no provocation, comes up telling us he has a brick. There's no chance he has a brick. 0% chance. Pretty sure it was cannabis. Another funny story from Jace. Another time we come into gym class, he's like, I think he's talking to me or getting to one of us, and he's like, I got something to tell you guys. I got something to tell you. So I was going to take the trash out yesterday, and I was just going to take the trash out behind my house, took out the trash, and my neighbor came over, threw a box of condoms at me and said, "You know what to do." And again, we just fucking roar into laughter. We're just like, "Jeez, that never happened, my guy. That never fucking happened." But I thought those were funny. Another secondhand story. I did not experience this one, but this was definitely some talk of the high school for a little bit. But I never played football. Some sports I played: soccer, basketball, baseball forever, bowling for a little bit, gymnastics for a little bit, skiing, but not like it's like consider that as like a sport, but like now like in school and stuff. Golf, played tennis. Yeah, that's probably it. But I did not play football. A guy named Rodney Oliver, shout out Rodney Oliver, hope you're doing well out there, man. But he was on the football team. And at 16 would have been like, mid sophomore year getting a car. So again, Rodney could not drive a car at this point. So, and football had a lot of just like morning workouts, 2-a-days, this, that, whatever. And what was his coach's name? Maybe Bain, maybe, I don't know. One of the people that played football at the high school remember this story better than me, or who the coach was. But Rodney's late to practice one day, and the coach is grilling him about why he's late to practice. Rodney, why aren't you here? Where were you? Where were you? And Rodney goes, I couldn't find a place to park my bicycle. Just fucking hilarious. And so those are some other just random funny stories from high school that I was remembering. There was also another quote, you got a head like a rutabaga, and a rutabaga's a melon. Again, I wasn't there for that story, but that was funny. Just another thing from the football guys. But now I'm going to tell you, fast forward to high school and a couple more stories, and maybe some more, just depending how long the episode is. So, like I've said, I've been a pretty active, low-level criminal throughout my life. So I'm going to tell you some stories about social engineering and getting free food and free clothes with my friend Steve, and then also how we attended an Aflac convention. So first story, getting free food. Again, riding around with my buddy Steve, just doing dumb shit. What are we going to do today? Well, I come up with this idea, we're hungry, we need some food. At this point, neither of us have any money, we're not working, we have no way to make money. But like in high school, I had a credit card from my parents where I could spend like $100 on food. I mean, just like a credit card for food. But at this point, like I said, no, we're gonna try to game the system. We're gonna figure some shit out. So I had this idea, like, why wouldn't we go? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was my. I don't want to claim if it was my idea, even in like the small town. I don't remember, but I think it was my idea. But the idea was to just go to different fast food places and say, hey, we were just here, and we forgot a small fry or a $1 double cheeseburger from McDonald's, and just see if they'd be like, oh, okay, no problem, here it is. We left the receipt at home, and obviously we were just driving up, not wanting to pay for fucking food, and so we would go up there. I want to say maybe my brother's friends did this at one point, but just trying to be accurate. But so we do this, and we're not sure if it's going to work. Go to McDonald's, it works. We get like a small fry. Then we go to White Castle, and this is State Route 3 Maxtown Road, west of Ohio. If you know the area, just a bunch of little fast food places everywhere. Go to White House, get 2 or 3 sliders. And then we tried Raising Cane's, and it didn't work. We needed a receipt there. And then we went to Arby's, and we got a fucking small roast beef. And then the funny one is we go to Taco Bell, and they were so apologetic that they forgot our meal. They let us pick 3 free items off the menu. And at that point, me and Jimmy were like, kind of feel kind of shitty now. It's like we definitely wanted food, and at this point we had gotten enough food. We weren't even fucking eating it. We had already eaten. We were just like, this shit works. You can just be like, oh hey guys, we forgot to get our free food. Can you hand it out for us? And so at Taco Bell was the breaking point for us, where we were like, yeah, we should probably just stop doing this. But that's how we got free food, by lying. now less social engineering, just more stealing. So we did a couple. Well, our mischief kind of stayed was we called FSU, just fuck shit up, and again like egging, like literally maybe 2 or 3 times. Toilet papering in like grade school. Works bombs once, twice, 3 times, and then. But one time, me and Steve were like, okay, let's just go steal shit. Let's just go try to fucking steal shit. And the Tanger outlet malls at Jefferson opened up. And so we went in there again. This is our one and only time shoplifting. And then actually, no, I did shoplift when I was like a real young kid. I stole a pack of gum right in front of my mom. She caught me. I definitely felt like shit. So that was the first time I stole something. This is the only time we really stole something. We're just checking out criminality. And so we just go to different outlet malls at the Tanger Jefferson outlet mall right when it opened up. I don't know. We probably both got like maybe $150 to $200 worth of stuff. And every time I would wear the stuff around outside, I remember I had like a Abercrombie and Fitch like red long sleeve, and me and my buddy Steve would look at each other and just go, "Stolen, stolen." And then I feel shitty about stealing shit, but it definitely happened. I still think it was kind of a funny story. But now, one more actually really fucking funny story with my buddy Steve. And so, obviously again, same time, hanging out with Alice a bunch. She had her friend Olivia, we talked about her. But I figured out that Polaris in Westerville, like the shopping center, the Hilton up there, one of the panes of glass was broken out getting into the pool area. And so anytime we wanted to swim, they didn't replace it for like, I'm sure they probably replaced it now, but it was gone for like a year, 2 years. And so anytime I wanted to swim or set up something to do, like let's go swimming and let's go to a hot tub, and it's the winter time, we would just go into the Hilton, the glass pane would be unlocked or like broken out. It's just like one glass pane, reach around, open the pool door and just walk in. So we were doing that a lot. And one day, me and Steve are in there and we see a wedding. We see a fucking wedding. We're sure it's a fucking wedding. And we're gonna crash it. Wedding Crashers was just out, 2010 time frames. And so, obviously trying to get the bitches, the women, girls, and we had my buddy Tim and my buddy Kirsten, we actually did go to a wedding. We did crash a wedding one time, that did happen. But me and my buddy Steve, this is our first attempt. And so, we see this wedding going on, and we're at the pool, and we're like, oh shit, let's go get a suit on and go to the fucking wedding. And so we rush home, we're all excited, we're both like, let's go, lady titties, let's go. And we're going back, we get our suits on, and we have other friends like hanging out at the time, and they're just like, what are you fucking idiots doing? But we're going to crash the fucking wedding. And so we get all dressed up in suits as our other friends are just hanging out at our friend Kirsten's house, literally just watching TV, watching a movie, whatever. They're like, yeah, good luck with that. And so we get our suits on, we're all stoked, and again, this is where we're like rushing, because we don't want to miss the reception with dancing with all the women. And so we rush back to the Hilton at Polaris, and we're all confident, we're walking through the halls, we're going to the banquet room, and we go into where the wedding reception's at. And the Hilton does have wedding receptions quite often. Go into the wedding reception and instantly see Aflac Appreciation Week. It was a business conference for fucking Aflac. And me and my buddy Steve are ready to be Vince Vaughn and whatever the other dude in fucking Wedding Crashers was. And we just fucking lose it. We're just like, what the fuck? How stupid are we? So that was the time me and my buddy Steve crashed an Aflac convention thinking it was a fucking wedding. So just one more story. All of these ones in this episode are very lighthearted. Even the ones that kind of suck for me, I don't care. Like I said, being a scapegoat for so long, it's just, you really lose like getting mad and sad and shit. It's just like, when does it stop? The answer is still never. But this is another time when I went to Kumbaya Land, senior year of high school. And so I was raised in a Catholic Christian environment. Go to church on Sunday, no one's really that religious, not super strict in any way, but certainly a background of Catholicism, and certainly no one gives a fuck. But there's this thing called Kairos, which I'm sure anyone in a Catholic school, but it's like supposed to be like this like bonding experience of like opening up to people and just like, basically I call it Kumbaya Land for fucking beta male societies. I don't get why you have to go on a religious retreat to be honest and open with another fucking human being. And again, I'm telling you this as a kid, or 18-year-old when I was fucking in 17, 18 at school. I can recall the way I actually felt like the whole time. It's kind of how my memory works. It's how everyone's memory works, but I definitely can remember this. And so I'm speaking, but when I tell these stories, I'm speaking as I thought it when it happened. And so that's just like, you do this, and sometimes you go, I forget how long you go, but you go for like a week or 2 weeks. It's like an overnight type of deal. Maybe not a week, but like 4 or 5 days overnight religious retreat with a small select group of your classmates. And you bond, and you open up, and you learn about all the struggles in life. And to me, it really struck me as like people just like finding a way to bitch and trying to feel like special about it. But, and I've told you about the Joe and Chris duality. Again, I'm definitely not bullying Joe. And this is after the stories about the math class and calculus class. But Joe was certainly like an outspoken atheist in high school. And again, atheist, agnostic, they don't even, the words. The word of God is a math proof. No one seems to fucking get that. The words you speak were proven. That's kind of what you're doing. So it's like getting the, like, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 3 no matter what the context is. But Joe went on the Kairos first, and once you come back from the Kairos, again, you're not supposed to talk about it. It's just weird as fucking shit ever to me, honestly. But he went on the earlier one, so he was like a Kairos leader, like he led one of the groups for the next thing. And I was in his group. And he literally told me, like, word for word, he goes, I just can't figure you out. I remember just thinking, Joe, it's like, yeah, because I'm being tortured, I'm being neglected to the point of criminal activity by literally an entire community of people. There was no chance anyone will care because I'm athletic and smart, so that's going to never happen. I can't figure out. It's nothing to figure out, I'm just mature and I don't need a kumbaya land. But not even to be mean to Joe at all, but like, he would get really, really stringent atheist, and then coming back from Kairos, like it was this big bonding experience. So like maybe my eyes opened up when it's really just connecting with another fucking human being is what causes that feeling. But I've just never been reserved about any aspect of my fucking life. And so you just can't figure you out. Again, I don't even remember what the fucking Kairos group said or whatever the fuck it was. But the only thing at the time that I even told Joe or my Kairos group is I ran away for like 4 to 5 hours as a kid. I don't even think my parents know this, but I have a cousin, Matt Click, shout out Matt Click. But they lived in Las Vegas. And at a point in time when again my dad was getting mad at me for literally fucking nothing, for existing at some point. And where we lived, this is at our second house, my other aunt, my mother has 3 sisters and a brother. The one that lives in Las Vegas, and then another one that lives in Dayton, and then one that lives literally like a 2-minute walk from where our second house was. I mean, like literally not neighbors, but in the same neighborhood. And so anytime I would have problems with my dad, my aunt would let me go over there. And at this time, my aunt and uncle were out of town for like a week. And so like you can come over and stay at our house as long as you want. And so I told my parents, I told my mom that's where I was at. But I'd literally gotten on a bus. I'd went, I think it was like Cincinnati. But I was going to go try to get to Las Vegas. Just get the fuck out of here. And so I tried to do that, and I literally got to Cincinnati. This is like I'm 12, 13 years old. I'm like, there's no fucking chance I'm going to be able to like survive and like exist. Just like, so I just got on another bus and went back. But I told my parents, or at least my mom, that I was at my aunt's house. And I'm pretty sure at this time, my brother and my dad knew they kind of fucked up because they kind of ganged up on me and they came looking for me. And I had to cell phone at the point I just told my mom I was at my aunt's house and just to leave me alone. But then I just realized I could not make it to Las Vegas and came back. And so that was like the only story I had for like my Kairos group. But again, it was like the sensitivities. Like you need to go on a religious retreat to like open up to another human being. Utterly the weirdest fucking shit ever. Again, stagnation of society. It's okay to have your feels, have your emotions, boys and girls. But Joe tells me again, like after. I forget when he said this exactly. I think it was like actually at the Kairos. It's like, I just can't figure you out. And like that's why he picked me in his group. Like I was going to open up some big emotional story. And it's just like, no. I'm just profoundly neglected. And at another story from the same time, at the Kairos, they have you write a letter to yourself. And you're supposed to talk about, I forget, but what you want to be, where you're at, and where you're going to think you're going to go. And then they take the letter, and then I don't know where the school administrators just send it to you, 5, 6 years later. And then you're supposed to look back and see how far you came. And so the running away, the story I told at Kairos was probably 6 to 7 years before Kairos. The letter probably came 5 to 6 years after Kairos. And this is another story with Dr. Ross. The Ross I've referenced in here, he was also at Kairos, like, what the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck is this? And so, for our letters to ourselves, we swapped. I wrote Ross's letter to himself, and he wrote my letter to myself. So as it'd be a surprise to see what we wrote to each other, 5 years later. And again, not in like polite ways. Like I drew me fucking a sister, and he drew probably him fucking my mom or something, but we were just totally fucking around. So like a guy I thought, honest to God, at fucking Kairos, I was like, what is this? But so we write those letters, get the letter, and I can honestly say, since 10 years before going to Kairos and 10 years after going to Kairos, my life has changed zero. Woo, Jesus! Woo, God! Woo, bonding! But I genuinely find this funny stories. So I'll probably wrap this up here. It's probably about 25 minutes. Running out of stories. So again, I'll go back to again just stuff. I do different cycling of what I do on my channel. But again, I'll be back with again a lot of language stuff, movie reviews, all that stuff. Blah blah blah. Again, I play games. As soon as I can get some traction, I'm going to do a lot more videos and a lot more content. And probably what I'll do then is just upload like one video or upload like 10 videos and publish one to my subscribers list. But again, I'm going to take all of my content onto my own website. But a lot more content coming. Again, Turkey Time, the single, literally almost done writing this. So I'm going to be dropping a nice pleasant song like I always do, great lyrics. And I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for watching Casual Conversations 18.